Hello guys, welcome to Rich Living Mastery YouTube channel where we create content to help you optimize 3 areas of your life: health, wealth and relationships. This is Abhishek
This is Puni Jagdish.
and we are here to bust the myth of positive thinking. Is positive thinking a good thing or is it a myth? Does it really work or is it just a myth? Now to start off with, let's start with what is positive thinking and what were its origins.
Positive thinking is a mental and emotional attitude which focuses on bright side of life and expects positive result. Let's say a positive human being anticipates health, happiness and success and also believes he or she can overcome any obstacles or difficulties. So that is positive thinking in a nutshell.
So as far back as we can go in our history, we can see that we always had this concept of positive thinking or thinking good thoughts in all our mythological books, mythological stories or our traditional religious books or ancient scripts. Now with that said, when did this positive thinking become such a big deal in our generation? Now at about 1830s, a lot of people, a lot of personal development experts and a lot of religious leaders started coming up with this concept that thoughts actually affect our environment and our circumstances, which the whole movement was called the New Thought movement, where a lot of authors started coming up with this concept of law of attraction or positive thinking will attract positive circumstances to us. It was during this where actually a lot of amazing books came out. One of them is The Secret, which is very popular. The other is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. A lot of authors, if you go Google it, you will find it. Now that we have the origin, let's go with our research.
Before we dive deep into the research, there's a very wonderful story which I want to share with you so we'll understand it in a much more practical way. Now let's consider that you are walking in the forest and all of a sudden you stumble across a tiger. Now what does your mind take about the situation? It immediately switches into fear, and what do? Run away from it. Did you analyze before running away? Actually no, because your mind is switched into fight or flight mode and then you start running away. But there were thousands of other opportunities for you to do. You could have either climbed a tree or picked up a stake and fight with the tiger in whatever the possible scenario you could have come up with. But you just started running away, which seemed very relevant at that point of time for your brain. So we are programmed to think in these terms always. Even now we think in this flight or fight mode all the time. So when we are having this negative emotion, even today when you're fighting with somebody, when you're channeling your anger or when you're in fear mode, fearful emotions, what you do is you only narrow down to 1 or 2 options. Maximum is 2. So you don't see any other option out of it. You just see that you have to scream at the other person or you just walk away or throw something. So your mind is not thinking at that point of time. It is just giving you the most relevant option you could do. It is not the best because you're not thinking and calculating it as per the situation. You're just jumping into the thought which your mind is putting across. So here we have a wonderful study which teaches this. When you're in negative emotions, your brain actually shuts your frontal neurocortex down and it will not let you think. On the other hand, when you're happy and joyful, your brain will do something different.
There was this research done where this researcher named Barbara Fredrickson, she was a positive psychology researcher at North Carolina University. She took 5 groups of people. Now the first group and the second group were shown pictures of joy and contentment.
Sure.
Now the third group were a neutral group. They were shown some images, but none of it was of significant emotion. Now the 4th and 5th group were shown pictures of anger and fear. And the interesting part is this: after a while, they were asked to imagine themselves in that situation of the pictures they saw, and they were supposed to write something. They were given about 20 lines space to write about something. And listen careful, this is where it gets very, very interesting. Now the group which saw images of fear or anger, they were the ones to come up with the least number of options or least number of points. The third group which was what neutral group, they came up with kind of okay, but more than the fear and anxiety group. They were able to come up with a lot more options. The beauty is this: the ones who were exposed to positive images, positive emotional images like joy and contentment, they came up with the most options or the most number of lines, which proves the point that positive thinking will make you look at a lot of options, and negative thinking will shut down your brain, will only see one way out, which is horrible. How do you know if your positivity is the healthy positivity or the unhealthy positivity? There are so many differences right now, but we are only going to look at two differences. Number one, if your positivity is healthy, you show acceptance. What do I mean by this? Let's say you're bad at public speaking. If your positivity is healthy, you accept that you're bad at public speaking, and your positive outlook would be, this is an opportunity for me to get good at public speaking. If your positive thinking is unhealthy, then you show denial. By denial, what I mean is, if you're bad at public speaking, you deny that you're bad at public speaking. You're going to say, you know what, whatever people say, it's not true. I know I am the best public speaker in the world, irrespective of facts or irrespective of reality, which is bad because you don't grow. Now, if your positivity is healthy, the second difference would be it inspires you to take action. You take action irrespective of the challenges you will face in the journey. But if your positive thinking is on the unhealthy side, because you are overly positive, way too extremely positive, it will not inspire you to take action because you don't really believe it inside you. You know what you're going to say? You know what? I am going to get good at public speaking. I'm going to take rest today. I'm going to wait till tomorrow, or I'm going to wait till next week, and then I'm going to start. I want to take break for now because I know I will be there. I will get there. And guess what? Tomorrow or that next week will most likely never come. So this is the difference between healthy positivity and unhealthy positivity. Once again, healthy positivity, you will start showing acceptance and it inspires you to take action. If your positivity is unhealthy or if you're delusional, you are going to deny the reality and it does not inspire you to take action. Now that we have understood how much positive thinking will be in the delusion place and how much positive thinking will actually be healthy, let's go with the conclusion, what we think. Now look, personally for me, this is what I think. Positive thinking is good, and positive thinking will make you set higher goals. But when you set higher goals, there are also chances of failing. If you don't have the guts to face your failure, don't do it. Set okay goals, be kind of positive, and it's okay, but you're selling yourself short. But if you have the guts to face that failure, do it. Now let's take an example. Let's say you want to become a very good dancer. You want to win a dance competition, which is somewhere after this week. You only have 1 week time to prepare for this dance competition. Now, even though you prepared, even though you're new to dance, I want you to walk into that dance competition with the mindset that you are going to win it. And the beautiful part of this is this, that when you walk in there with that confidence, it shows. You will perform way better than you thought you would. Now you have to be open to the chance that you are going to fail. And you have to have the stomach to face that failure and say, okay, fine, how could I do better next time? If you don't have stomach for it, then don't go for it. What do you want to say?
I have this beautiful theory or proven theory which I read online during the research. You know, human beings are naturally cheerful and joyful. You know how to prove that? You know, look at babies. They are happy just the way they are. They are happy with whatever small toys they have, or they are happy with the small amount of food they get or stuff. But the problem with us is we get into negative thoughts and flow later on, and that will make us miserable. We are happy just by the way we are. We just have to take care about removing the negative thought. We don't have to overthink about being positive and all. That is not at all required. We are super the way we are. So now that being said, how would you use positively, in a very strategic way? I would suggest you to have a positive feeling about who you are, what you're doing, have positive motives, all those things. Bring in positivity there. No compromise at all. When you're thinking about or planning your action steps, be very resourceful. Know what you have to do and have the clarity and think and take the right action which you think is right for you. Thank you very much.
So what do you think? So finally, is positive thinking a myth or not?
As long as you're making sure that you are within your limits, within the line, and staying and having a very good positive mentality, it's not a myth. But if you let go, let loose, and get carried away with delusion part, then that's gonna be a negative. That's gonna have a very negative impact on your life.
Thank you, man. That was a really good insight.
Yeah, pleasure.
That was right. He read my mind. We are very excited to announce we have just crossed 100 subscribers, and we have a long way to go. We'll keep consistent. We'll keep bringing you value, and thank you so much for that support. With that said,
we have more exciting things planned up for you. Keep liking and subscribing the channel. Show us a little more love, and my god, there are a couple of exciting controversial topics coming up, and guys, we are excited. We are looking forward to bring that content and look at the response. Thank you very much.
goodbye.
See you.